Tough Call Mediation is brought to you by Herb Legal LLP, serving your mediation and freelance paralegal needs in Ontario, New York, Quebec, and throughout North America. Connect to their website today at www.herblawservices.com.
Hello and welcome to Tough Call Mediation. My name is C.T. Ayler. I'm here today with the Reverend Mr. Dale Sheldon.
Hello.
I got you again.
I'm not a reverend. I mean, there's a card in my pocket.
I'm going to wait until we're at our 100th. Maybe not the 100th because now I'm just announcing my plans. But I'll not say it for a while now. And one day I'll just sneak it out again.
Okay. Officiate the union of two microphones or something.
Oh, that sounds great. Okay. Yeah. We'll have a wedding for microphones and everything. Perfect. All right. So today we're doing something a little different, and this will require some audience participation. I wanted to talk about it because I've seen it in various blogs and posts and discussions from fellow mediators. So when I'm on the World Wide Web,
mm-hmm. www.
I noticed that there's a lot of discussions that mediators refer to, how to sort of set the tone, set the table, things that they might bring into a pre-mediation session, resources that they will say. And some people talk about even some music to maybe set the scene in the background. Now, you know how it's funny, you've been saying for a long time, my intro, outro music sounds like massage music. And I love...
It's very relaxing.
Yeah. Shout out to Simon Green Bonobo. I love that sort of ambient chill vibe. So I love the Tyree that he managed to get that sort of vibe there. But yeah, as a former clinical massage therapist, I understand. But that's the thing is that, to calm and set the scene for people, there has to be, we can have a range of emotions. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, not that I want to play Enya every single time. Actually, Margaret Cho does a great bit about how Enya's music facilitates release for colonic therapy. And so now... Because I really laughed because I really got that joke. But now anytime I hear people even mention Enya's name, I think
of a colonic. A successful one. A successful colonic.
Yes. Thank you, Margaret Cho, for always...
I love her.
Yeah. All right. But music about the emotional side of conflicts and conflict resolution, and how we try to deal with problems. And of course, trying to bring Dale, the non-mediator, into this and to set things up. How little I knew of his awareness.
How little I knew?
Yeah. He knows nothing.
Of music.
No. You know everything about everything else.
Huh.
You know everything else.
It's a weird thing. Yeah. I'm partially versed in a lot of subjects, but not music. Well, but that's weird. So, okay. The reason why that's weird is I grew up in music, but in a very...
That's why it's hard to understand for me.
I'm a musician. I can play the piano. Yes. I'm a singer.
Yes. You're trained in
I am trained. I'm classically trained.
Yes.
Yeah. My first was Maestro Goffredo Corradetti, the San Francisco Opera, and I studied opera. But as a kid, literally until I was until I was a teenager, the only music I ever heard was Broadway musical music, opera, and then a smattering of things from when my parents were in high school. Right. So or in their early 20s, Jim Croce, the Mamas and the Papas, a little bit of the Beatles, and Frank Sinatra. My parents took me to a Frank Sinatra concert when I was 10 years old.
Which you loved immensely, right?
I hated it. I didn't understand who this old man is. This drunk old guy on stage who could barely sing. He was terrible. And I remember, but I didn't appreciate it. I didn't know.
Yeah.
And I remember someone like trying to get up on the stage, and he like got really angry. So all I'm saying is this old, drunk, angry, smoking, resentful. Yeah. I did not have a good time. And then I remember my grandmother
take
one
you
day
to a Mel Torme concert too.
Oh God! Thank God they didn't. I can't stand Mel Torme. No. I remember my grandmother called me one day and said, "Hey, do you want to go to a Rhett Skelton concert?"
Nice.
First of all, he's not a singer. He's not a musician.
No, he's a comedian.
He's a comedian, but I didn't know who he was. I know I had seen like video of him at my grandmother's house, and I thought he was hilarious, and that's why she asked.
Of course.
But I didn't know his name. No one told me the guy's name.
Oh, so when you hear a concert, you're expecting like Figaro.
No, worse. Okay. Because his name's Red Skelton.
Yes.
I thought she was trying to be a cool grandma and take me to like a rock concert of some band called the Red Skeletons. Oh. So I was like, that does not really sound very fun to me.
How old were you?
Like 10, 11 years old or something. I was like, oh, no, that's okay. If I had known who it actually was, I totally would have been on board.
Of course. I love comedy shows. I've been blessed to be able to see Chris Rock in concert.
I've never been to a concert.
I got to see, oh my gosh, I've actually seen a number of people. I got to see George Carlin before he died.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, it was great.
I do know comedians. I know movies. I know television, but I do not know music. I've never been to a music concert. I've been to...
Oh, my goodness.
I've been to musicals, and I've seen some symphony concerts, like classical music concerts, but never like a rock concert or... any modern popular music.
So this podcast episode has served as an intervention for Dale to help him and embrace
I know very little
love of music.
Yeah. Now, if a song has been in a movie, I'll likely know the song, but not know the name of it or who did it.
Yeah. And we were referencing Tig Notaro, one of our mutual. I love. And shout out to the Handsome podcast. Who knows? Maybe we'll do a crossover one day.
All three of them are amazing.
Love them so much. But anyway, we're making a joke because Tig doesn't know that much about actors and movies and stuff. But here's the thing: she knows a lot about musicians. Yeah. And you're the inverse.
So if she and I got together, we would know everything or absolutely nothing. Depending on which parts
meld minds.
were
you
picked.
Could take over the world of trivia and the arts. Yeah. But okay, so I had to send and have Dale listen to
the number of shocked faces that she had when I hadn't heard of a song.
I think the thing is my biological father was a musician. My dad, like my stepdad, but my dad, he has played music, and he's an amateur musician, but he's a great musician, and he's played music all of his life. And my mom is not a singer, but she loves music. So I've been raised with music all around me. Of course, I trained in music as well. I started with violin and piano and guitar and bass cello and clarinet. Mm-hmm. And so I have some understanding and appreciation and training, but just listening, love it. And I started developing whatchamacallit for your throat, laryngitis, because I was in a lot of talking professions for a long time. And once you get laryngitis, the ability for it to reoccur is quite, so learning learning how to protect your voice and whatnot is very important. So someone had told me, how about you go and get singing training? And for a year, I actually went and I worked with a professional opera music trainer. So teaching me vocal exercises which I never practiced. I was never very...
Proper use of the diaphragm.
Yeah, no, I was terrible. But I did get assessed, and I found out I was a mezzo-alto or something like that.
Okay.
So,
Doesn't really make it a mezzo-soprano or something?
Nope.
Not soprano? Well, mezzo is a...
Like Nina Simone, whatever you would classify her as.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
That low range. Apparently, I could, if I trained my voice, I could go down into that level, like that female baritone version. Like she said,
I love Nina Simone. I do know a couple of her songs. A couple.
I live for her.
But honestly, I only learned about her from the movie Billy's Hollywood Screen Kiss.
That's it?
That's how I found out about her.
Her life is so fascinating.
Well, I've since learned about her. Yeah, but I discovered her from that movie.
Pianist, and because
brilliant. Yeah, absolutely
and because
brilliant.
she couldn't get a job, that's why she ended up performing in nightclubs and bars. And so her highly improvisational, allowed her to go into jazz.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I learned about these people through movies. So that was the one that I learned about, and then I started discovering her more.
Right.
And I just taught you today something new about Bette Midler that you didn't know, that she started in the gay bathhouses in New York.
I didn't even know that bathhouses had a concert performance.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
So
she started off, the Continental Baths, 1971.
Very cool. And Dale managed to show me a clip of her perform, thanks to YouTube, because let's take back to even the 90s, like pre-YouTube years, someone telling me that at a party or something, I would be like,
that someone
really?
even brought in a camera to a bathhouse. First of all, alone.
Right.
They had must have gotten permission, because her audience was full of men in towels. That's not exactly conducive to a film.
71. I mean,
in
this
1971,
is before Stonewall, right?
Yeah, it was still illegal to a certain degree. Yeah. No, it was after Stonewall.
I thought it was 72, wasn't it?
No, 69.
Was 69? Oh my gosh, look at me with my I trained in university in history. Look at me and my bad history recollections and dates.
Yeah.
Anyway, so listeners, we're going to start sharing our love of music and what taps into times that will help you de-stress and get you into a more meditative zone. I actually, back when I was teaching yoga and I was a clinical massage therapist, I'd done a lot of training in meditation. And, even mediators will talk about the benefits of meditating for stress reduction and stress relief. But there's a lot of studies that say listening to music can help you get to the same type of brain wave that you can. So when people say, meditation isn't for me. Oh, well, do you like listening to music? Absolutely.
Then do that.
You're good. It's the same as people who love to go running. They say, I can't meditate at all. You're meditating when they talk about that zone.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're experiencing the same benefits and the effects. So
reading, honestly, can
pretty
do
much
it.
Anything, like doing
anything
dishes,
that is even really long drives can do it. Yeah.
Mindfulness. I mean, that's the whole practice. I'm glad that mindfulness has Headspace. People listen to Headspace app, and that's based on more of a Western approach to mindfulness. But Thich Nhat Hanh really cultivated the concept of you could have a meditative state in almost anything you do if you're just mindful, if you approach it with a certain amount of intention and care, and you apply not a Zen focus per se, but a certain amount of being present to it, being present to your task, and all of those things can really help in any type of conflict resolution setting, bringing yourself into a calmer state of mind. Very, very, very helpful. So music lovers, share those times that can maybe, someone told me something really interesting when I was in massage a long time ago. They said, what will help me is if I listen to sort of more of those theme songs, like the things that'll actually get me really amped up. And at first I didn't understand where they were going. And when I realized what was happening is we were referring very specifically to them being in a very difficult career. And it was a slightly toxic workplace as well. So very high stress, high intensity. And what they needed to do was to almost have a cathartic release before and after work. So they would actually deliberately pump themselves up with the music to get their I was at the time in a sense of like, oh, that doesn't sound right. You should. And until I realized what they were saying, oh, you're trying to mentally prepare yourself to handle, but you kind of bring yourself up energetically so that you can be in that mind frame and that you can be a bit more focused and present. Got it. But at the same time, once you leave work, you also need a certain amount of that. They listen to death metal. Okay. So that's why, and I'm not a death metal fan.
Yeah.
So I found it really difficult. For any listener out there who's like, but death metal is my life. Okay. I understand that there's a lot of amazing drummers. I dated a drummer once upon a time who showed me specific pieces within death metal and talked to me about the drummers and how amazing they are. So I understand that there's an art and a level of training and a level of mastery to it. Still doesn't mean that I appreciate death metal.
Yeah. Someone tried to help me try to understand Rammstein, and I can't. I just can't.
I just can't get into it. It's just it's not my bag.
Yeah.
But this patient, such a calm person, externally, that's what I find really interesting. Like a lot of people I've met over my life who I find out they absolutely love death metal. They're sometimes the calmest people. I think it's because they exercise, they channel it out.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that you talk to when they're preparing for like martial arts, mixed martial arts, wrestling. You'll hear them talk in the same way of that, getting into that mindset, that grappling, that getting together and like tussling a little bit. And then they've exercised their demon, or they've been able to release whatever pent up energy they had. And then they're more calm and more focused. And that's a great way to be able to approach a high intensity, high stress conflict situation. It doesn't work for me because I come from the opposite, hence what drew me into meditation and yoga and massage is I am on the opposite. I am more of an exposed raw nerve of energy sometimes that can get pent up and locked, and I can vibrate. I used to joke that my spirit animal was a hyper chihuahua, which can happen to me sometimes, but it is an external demonstration of my anxiety bordering on my panic disorder. So I need the opposite to wind down. I need to zone out. I need that ambient, mellow. I'm not a cocaine user. I'm a cannabis user. You know what I mean? It's pick your poison.
Calm down. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I never understood why people would take a drink to relax, because it does have it's a social lubricant, but also it's a depressant. And as someone who can get very anxious, I don't get how taking a few drinks is really going to take the edge off of anything. Because all I can see is it as just loosening your jaw, maybe providing a bit of relaxation in the body, but I don't see how it actually helps your mind. But there are people who are like, I need beer or wine o'clock. And that will help. That helps me relax. That helps me even potentially face. We used to use alcohol as a way to calm things down. Like sometimes, once upon a time, it was prescribed medicinally.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, you got a colicky baby? Rub some rum on their gums.
Mm-hmm. Whiskey, yeah. Whiskey on the baby's gums, yeah. Even when my son was an infant, my mother-in-law wanted to give him a shot of... I'm like, no. It's 1999. You're not giving my child whiskey. She was serious.
Of course she was.
Yeah.
Of course she was.
Like, you got to be kidding me. It's like, it doesn't hurt anyone. It's like, half your family's alcoholics.
Maybe it does.
Maybe it does.
But we all need a way to vent, a way to channel things, a way to mentally prepare ourselves for conflict, a way for us to help it. And there are ways that serve us and work for us and ways that do not serve us. And I think that's the thing, is for a very long time, alcohol was considered an okay, acceptable way, but unfortunately did a lot of damage to people. Hence why we tried prohibition in the States. It didn't really work out.
No. Made things worse. Ogdensburg did great.
Okay, so we have a few songs that I've compiled from lists of mediators. I ended up cutting a few out because I sort of disagree. But we can kind of get into the meat of it. Listeners, I want to hear, is this a song you would listen to either decompress from a stressful situation or to mentally prepare you to just get into that sort of emotional zone, you know, and let it be channeled before you go. But we're going to get to a song that Dale actually suggested.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, remember
there was one.
There was one.
There was one.
We found one for you.
I found one. It's from a musical.
Yeah, huzzah. There might be more.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have someone write in.
Funny enough, musical probably no one's heard of. It's not a very common, well-known musical.
But there may be other ones.
Yeah, I'm
does
sure.
Chicago have a mediation one? I don't think so. It wasn't
I would
really.
have to think about that. Chicago.
It was more about murder and crime and, you know, that kind of thing. Because I'm thinking Cell Block Tango when they're all just explaining their...
Oh, I love that song. Yeah.
So good. They're just explaining.
Well, no, I mean, there are some bits when Roxy is trying to understand herself and trying to get out of... Yeah, there might be something.
We'll figure
She's
it out.
pretty delusional, though. I mean, the entire musical is her delusions.
What about Cabaret? Nah, I don't think so either.
No, it's, yeah.
Cats? No. Watch, we'll find a perfect one from Cats.
I mean, Memory, maybe.
Oh, that's a terrible song. It's so sad.
It
That's
is.
so sad.
I don't know if that would really work with mediation, but it's someone toward the end of their life. But the thing is, it's someone toward the end of their life, but accepting where they are in their life and trying to find acceptance in themselves is actually what that song is kind of about.
I don't think
that
of it
everyone
that
else
way.
doesn't like them. But
I'm tearing up thinking about that song. I see it as grief and loss.
that's how it's usually sung.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it's usually sung.
Sweeney Todd.
You think there's
There might be
something inspirational in Sweeney Todd? Oh, actually, wait.
Oh, there is one, isn't there?
Kind of. The song Not While I'm Around by Toby. Toby sings this beautiful song. He's trying to explain to Mrs. Lovett that Sweeney, who lives upstairs, he realizes is a monster of a human being, like literally a monster. He doesn't know that Mrs. Lovett is his accomplice in that. And he's trying to tell her, I will protect you. He's just a child, but he's like, I will protect you. I will be here. Please. He's trying to clue her in to be careful of that
Even
man.
though she completely knows exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so I don't even know that song, and I think that's so sad.
It's
I don't
incredibly
remember
sad.
it. I don't remember that song.
It is one of the most beautiful songs in the Broadway world. And very few people know it. Beautiful song.
Because let's be honest, Les Miserables kind of took over the musical pop
Phantom.
world, and Phantom.
Yeah. Les Miserables, I'm good with.
No conflict mediation resolution songs in either, really. I mean, unless you talk about the chandelier dropping on people. That's a way to resolve conflict.
Yeah. There's nothing redeemable at all in Phantom of the Opera as far as I'm concerned. I'm not an Andrew Lloyd Webber fan.
What?
No. Nope.
Uh-oh, listeners. Grind your axes.
But Les Miserables, there's good stuff in Les Mis. I'm sure there's something.
There is no there is revolution. Can you hear the people sing?
But they touch on aspects of that revolution where people try to understand themselves and life in general.
True.
Yeah, like Empty Chairs at Empty Table. It was an incredibly sad song.
Yes.
On My Own.
Javert's internal monologue of his stars in their multitude.
Yeah,
That's a good one for his internal.
You mean, yeah.
Like the way he's talking about how he navigates the world, how he sees things. I actually really like that song.
Yeah, that was one of my go-to songs when I was a teenager, singing at different places with Stars. Stars and Empty Chairs.
Do you have any recordings of you with that?
Oh, somewhere, probably. I don't know.
I'd love to hear 14-year-old Dale singing that. That would be
there's
awesome.
a lot of yeah, I sing that a lot. Too much. That and Empty Chairs. I sing both of those quite a lot.
Wow. Okay.
Anyway,
let's get into pop.
Yeah, so I'm not going to know any of this stuff.
Well,
I know some of them. I know a few.
Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood to You. It was originally written by the Animals, but I love the Nina Simone version.
Yeah. So, I remember you playing it for me, but I don't know it. I didn't know it.
Please don't let me be misunderstood.
Yeah. I don't know it.
So good. Okay, Let's Work Together, Canned Heat.
Nope.
Which, remember we said it was probably going to be in some Budweiser commercial.
Oh, right.
At some point, because it's definitely like a let's get together, let's get this done.
But even then, I hate beer. So every time I see a beer commercial, I would tune out. I just don't like the taste of it.
Love the Clash. So did you recognize the should I stay or should I go?
Oh, yeah. I recognize only that line.
Well,
because it's in a million movies and stuff.
And it's pretty much almost the entire song.
And so many true. Yeah. and so many commercials and stuff too. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, the Clash. I also really love Rock the Casbah.
Oh, that I know. I do know that.
I love that song. Okay, When Doves Cry.
Nope.
Oh wait, no. How can you just leave me standing?
No, I don't. No, that one I didn't know.
Yeah, you didn't like Prince.
Oh, well, true. I don't. Yeah, never.
And
been a
I was
fan
really
of him.
sad. That was such a sad thing for me to hear.
I do appreciate that he was apparently a musical genius.
Yes,
but no, never liked him.
So sad.
To me, he just seems like. So the only thing even long before I ever heard any of his music, I kept hearing how he was just this small, very insecure guy.
It doesn't matter. I
don't know. I can't.
His performance, I didn't see it at the time because I didn't watch the NFL halftime show, but I've seen it on YouTube like a cajillion times since. Oh, his halftime show performance, so good. Yeah. And then there's like a live concert thing that he has. It was a tape of him, a movie. They did that once upon a time.
I knew,
so
I don't know why I said small, because I don't care that he was small. I'm
prowess.
only 5'6" myself.
But he was very
I know he's also very petite too.
Petite.
But no, I knew one of his bodyguards, and he would tell me stuff, and I'm just out. I can't. I don't know. Anyway,
it's okay. It's okay. Agree to disagree.
Yeah. You like him, yeah.
Yeah. You can't always get what you want.
That I know.
Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
Yes, that's such a good song. and We Can Work It Out by the Beatles.
Yeah, I didn't know the title, but when you played it for me, I recognized the song. Yeah.
I also really like the Stevie Wonder version of that. I really like that version. I can play it for you after.
I do like Stevie Wonder. I know Stevie Wonder.
Yes. You know him personally?
No. I know of Stevie Wonder. No, I don't know
I
him.
hear he's a little bit loopy these days, but I mean, someone who's been that wealthy and that popular for that long, it's bound to make anyone a little loopy.
I mean, again, I can't name any of his songs, but I know I've heard him and liked him.
Right. And you didn't know Dignity by Bob Dylan?
Never heard that song before. I've heard of Bob Dylan, of course.
Yes.
But I can't name a single song.
Oh,
when you played that for me earlier, I'd never heard it before.
It's really good. And, you know, my dad does not like Bob Dylan. My mom likes Bob Dylan. I like Bob Dylan. My husband likes Bob Dylan. My son has started to like Bob Dylan. My dad cannot stand him at all. He's like, it's just like that Tom Waits guy you listen to all the time. I'm like, don't knock Tom Waits. But anyway,
also don't know Tom Waits. Again, I've heard the name, but it's the same
in
thing.
movies and stuff too.
So it's probably like if you played a song, I likely would know the song.
No. I don't.
If it's been in a movie.
I don't know if
If
any
it's
of
been in a movie.
his music has been in. I don't know if it's been in movies.
That's what
Might
it usually is,
might
though.
be.
A lot of this music I will have known clips of from a movie, but I couldn't name it, couldn't say who it was.
Who else likes Tom Waits out there? Sometimes I feel so very, very alone. But anyway, The Middle, that's a newer song. Not that new, by Zed, Maren Morris, and Gray. I really like that song. It's definitely about the argument. You're in the middle of an... Can't we just come into the middle? Can we find middle ground? You know, let's baby, why don't you just meet me in the middle? That's the chorus.
Yeah.
You know, Be Kind with Haley by Marshmello.
Now, is Marshmello a person or a band?
It's like an artist. I think it's a single artist, but then I recently learned that it actually might be a duo or something. So I didn't know.
You sound like David Rose trying to explain his new store coming out. It's an experience.
Well, I just know some Marshmello songs, and I just assumed it was an artist, but then someone said something to me. So I'm like, no, that's a duo. I was like, really? Ooh, I should probably look Marshmello up.
Marshmello up, yeah.
Oopsie.
Let's have some s'mores.
Yeah. with some hot chocolate, playing Sexy Thing. Do you know that song?
No. Oh, Sexy Thing. I think I know that song. Yeah. I only know the
miracles.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That. I do like that. I like that song. Yeah.
Yeah. But Be Kind is so like just it's really a song that talks about like it's obviously from the perspective of one person speaking to another, saying like, you can be kind to yourself too. Like, and be kind to me. But be kind to yourself first so that you can be kind to others. Really, I see that as the core of that song. And I think that that's such a great... The opening line, I want to believe that you don't have a bad bone in your body. Right? It's like this treaty, like entreating someone to go, like, listen, I see how you tear yourself up. And then you're also not very kind to me sometimes, but just please be kind to yourself, and then we can work on this together. Yeah. And that sometimes is a huge part of conflict. It's not always two people. Let's just assume it's just two parties, two people clashing of their differences of opinion. Sometimes it's somebody who's kind of sucking people in with their own self-loathing and their own sort of vortex of negativity. And as a result, they don't even see the collateral damage and the harm they're doing to other people. And that's so common in so many conflicts.
Yeah. It's kind of like that saying, I don't know if RuPaul said it first or if he got it from someone, but it was something like, How do you expect to love yourself, or how do you expect someone else to love you if you can't love yourself?
Yeah. How you
Something
gonna
like
love
that.
someone?
Yeah, if you can't love yourself. Yeah, something. He says it really great.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Take a Minute by Kanon. You said you recognized that when I played it for you.
Did I?
I think you did.
No, I said I liked it.
Oh.
I don't think I could have never heard of.
It's
no.
a really good
I
song.
did like it though. I know I did like it.
It's a really good one. Well, I mean, Kanon's brilliant, so of course. What about Every Rose Has?
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Every
here's
rose
the
has
thing,
its thorn.
With Every Rose Has Its Thorn, I don't really see it as a mediation song, but I actually found this on several mediators' posts about music and mediation.
I mean, I could see how it could be like, I mean, just that phrase itself, like we're not all perfect.
Yes,
and from coming from that kind of perspective.
Oh, click, light bulb, got it. Okay, perfect. Yes, got it now. Okay, Bob Marley and the Wailers, One Love, People Get Ready. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I think, honestly, there have been times when I've been in my mediation and it can get heated sometimes. And in the back of my head, this is a confession, I play to calm myself down to help remove a little bit of one love. Just this isn't about me. Just let them have their moment of anger. Like because I was raised, my neighborhood was all about reggae music, calypso, that kind of vibe. So that takes me back to my childhood. You know, that kind of hey, we're going to just chill out here. We're just going to groove a little bit here. We're good. We're good.
You know what it is? For me, it has to be something ridiculous. Like if I'm in a stressful, crazy, what will pop into my head is some ridiculous thing. And like I just learned a new one. The one that I used to do all the time was something I used to hear my grandmother sing when she was washing the dishes or something. And the first time I heard her sing it, I thought she was going insane. Like I thought she was losing it.
Like Tiptoe Through the Garden?
No, it was Maresy Dotes and Dozy Dotes and Little Lambs Eat Ivy.
Oh yeah.
And I couldn't hear what the words were because it's really like almost a tongue twister. Mares eat oats and does eat oats and little lambs eat ivy. But she was, through it. But no, I'd heard a new one recently that's actually a German tongue twister rap called Babadas Rabababa. And it's really, really fantastic.
It's a song?
It's a rap song.
We have to listen to that afterwards.
It's a German tongue twister.
Oh, we should post
Babadas
that.
Rabababa, which is about a woman named Barbara who sells rhubarb pies at her rhubarb pie bar. And the barbarians come. And yeah, it's a fantastic, silly little song. But now I can hear that in
your head now.
Yeah.
And it's a good way to just sort of, disassociation. I remember hearing a psychologist, probably on a podcast, say this once, saying disassociation isn't inherently bad, but when it becomes a problem is when you can't reconnect and come back in. It's like it is a way that we can help protect ourselves, protect our brains, protect our emotional state, to have a moment of quick disassociation to help pull ourselves out of something that is incredibly intense. And so, are we recommending disassociation? No, but
I don't think I would ever recommend full disassociation.
Yeah, it's normal. It's natural. If you see yourself going somewhere, just recognize it. Be awake to it and go, oh, okay, this is why.
Also, we're not psychologists. So.
Exactly, exactly. And please see a psychologist if you find yourselves disassociating a lot, because they can be very helpful. I've been in a lot of disassociative states with my fear response because I'm a freezer. And so working with therapists to kind of talk about why those situations have caused me to freeze, why I can get catatonic. It's been really good to help me process those types of things. I mean, that's the thing, is you may not be going through a crisis or need to be hospitalized at any time, but if you notice that there's something that's bringing dysfunction into your life with yourself and with other people, it's a good idea to maybe check in with someone who has some training in that area. I think.
Yeah.
And we are not being sponsored by ButterHelp, by the way.
No, not at all. I'm being sponsored by pretty much anybody. Yeah. It'd be nice if we were, maybe. But,
Well, by Herb Legal.
Oh,
We've
Herb
been
Legal,
doing
yeah.
it, but that's it. We're my legal firm is the only sponsor so far, but
Yeah.
we will get there. We'll get there. Hey, BetterHelp, good plug right now.
yeah, teach us some things.
Okay, next song, "Clouds" by Zach. I don't
Did you
know-
play that one for me?
I did. Remember the cute. He looks like this cute little boy.
Oh yeah, had never heard it before. But yeah.
Yeah, and it's such a sweet song.
Yeah, nice, calm song. I do love "Happy." I love Pharrell Williams. He's fantastic.
Pharrell Williams' "Happy" is so. I mean,
I know a lot of people got really annoyed with that song because it kept playing over and over and over and over again. But I never got tired of it. I really didn't.
Same.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's great. And how does it fit in mediation for you? Because for me, I almost took this out.
Well, to me, it's almost like "Babaraz or Bababa." It's like it's one of those songs that
help you
it just
maybe relax and calm
or put you into the
down.
right mindset. Like if you're angry, if you're going into a situation where you know you're going to be angry, maybe listen to this beforehand. I could see something like that.
Okay.
At least for me, but different songs work for different people.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we have this one that you're right. So you can tell me about this one.
So this song is called "Worlds Apart." It's from the musical Big River, which is about Huckleberry Finn. And it is sung when they're on a raft going down the Mississippi, and it's Huck Finn, who's this teenage boy, a white teenage boy, and Jim, who's a slave or a former slave? I don't remember.
Huck Finn, he's sort of on the run.
He's on the run, yeah. And these two are friends when they shouldn't be friends in the context of the time and the place.
Yeah. Unlikely friendship.
Yeah. And the song is about how literally how they see the same sky at night, the same stars, but they're worlds apart, literally. Like in their perspectives. Yeah.
Experience, yeah. Wow. I like
It's a beautiful song, but I only brought it here because it's about perspective. It's about understanding that what you see is not what someone else might see, and trying to put yourself into their shoes a little bit and see the world from another point of view.
Yeah, empathy. I think the thing is, we see, especially in legal conflict situations, there is not a lot of empathy there. And so that's why mediation can play a big role in helping people maybe bridge that gap. So yeah, it's a great song.
Yeah.
It's a great song. And
It's a very sweet song, beautiful song too.
I love that you put it right next to "Imagine" by John Lennon, which is another opportunity for perspective.
Yeah. Yeah.
And creativity. Imagine a world where maybe our agreement is wonderful and everything's worked out.
What?
Mic drop. And did you know "Lovely Day" by Bill Withers?
No. Did you play that one for me too?
I don't think I did. I can play it for you afterwards. I've
never heard of Bill Withers.
This is one of my get up in the morning songs. It's
sounds like
another
it's a nice
perspective
song.
one. It's another this is just going to be a lovely day. And it's very, very, there's a more current version of it
Lovely Day. You know
with
what?
Aloe
Maybe.
Black.
I might have heard it. It sounds vaguely familiar, "Lovely Day."
Yeah. Aloe Black's "Green Lights."
Don't know that either.
Something special happened today. There were green lights all the way. And it was just, it's a very...
Oh, like on the road, green lights, like traffic lights?
It's a metaphor too.
Right, yeah.
And
Like the road is cleared.
Yeah, it's just like things are just kind of working out. And now I'm like having a way to relax and chill. Definitely, if you want to be in a mindset of, a lot of, the winner's mindset that people talk about in sports competitions and whatnot, Now they talk about people preparing for, say, a race or, some competition, and they're actually already playing through their routine or whatever they're doing, but also imagining the experience of what it's like to go through everything smooth sailing and everything. And that I would recommend as a great song for people to listen pre-mediation.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm going to envision that there were just green, like that everything.
That is so important. And I normally don't on our two podcasts, never say like my day-to-day job. And I still won't go into it. I won't go into it. Yeah. But I'll just say it's related to travel. And I'm only saying that because one of the things I've noticed is that if someone is going into any situation, so it doesn't even have to be travel. It's just that this is a life lesson that I've learned personally. Going into any situation.
Dale's wisdom.
Dale's wisdom. Yeah, if you go into any situation, if you go into it assuming that something bad is going to happen, ready for all the possible mistakes.
Armed for battle, chainmail on.
Yeah. Ready for the worst case scenario. What could happen won't happen, but you will find all of the things that are wrong. And you'll complain about every little thing, every little change. This is especially important with travel only because when you're traveling, nothing works out the way you anticipate that it will. It's just the nature of travel. When you're traveling, you have to go with the flow. You must go with the flow. If you don't, you're not going to have a good time. Just stay home.
Things are not going to work out.
Yeah, it's not going to. So it's better to go with a positive, go with the flow attitude, see what happens, enjoy the world, enjoy everything. And I could see that in mediation too. If you're going into a conflict, don't assume what the other person's going to say, think, do, their perspective. Even if you've talked to them before,
such a common trap. And the thing is as a mediator, sometimes they still look to us. Remember when we were talking to Mike McConnell, how sometimes they look to us wanting us to be the referee, the judge, the decider. And that's not our role. It's like, we're not here. We can give you some ideas and options, and I can provide some resources for you. But that is not the nature of our job. We have brought you here. We have gathered things. We are writing things down for you. So once this intensive, high adrenaline, high octane process is over, you'll actually get to see a written record of what has transpired. Like workplace mediation too. There's a lot of people who think that I'm going to be the judge and jury for them. And it's like, no. You need to understand I am recording. I'm looking at how people want conflict. I'm putting things into the agreement based on what you are stating. And then you all decide whether you want to agree it and write it down or not. You don't want to do it? Then it's a failed mediation. That's just the nature of it.
I kind of wonder how many times people have gone into a mediation, guns blazing, because they assume the other person is going to be hostile, and they don't realize like 10 minutes before that meeting, that person might have decided, you know what, I'm just going to let it go. I'm tired, I'm done, I'm just going to let and see what happens.
Yep.
And if you had gone in with a calm attitude, it might actually be productive, beneficial meeting.
Different. That's why, I'm one of the few, I'm not the only one, but there aren't that many who require pre-mediation sessions. And the only reasons I learned very quickly on from my mentor, from observing other mediators, from listening to my instructors, from talking to other people and doing my research, is that if you don't get their side of things and give them an opportunity to look at things and prepare and have some resources, that's a great opportunity. We can't tell them to go to therapy, but it can be in a welcome package. It's like, here's how therapy could work out for you. Here's how other supports could work out for you. That is vital information I truly believe people can benefit from.
Yeah.
Is it good for my bottom line? No, because sometimes I've had pre-mediations and then they get those resources and they realize they can work
Maybe
it
that's
out.
a better fit for whatever their need is.
Exactly.
Possibly.
Exactly. But, the thing is I'm happy that they were able to resolve. Okay, so I'm not the best business person. Get it? I get that. But I love that they were empowered by that information packet.
Yeah.
To take time to go through it and think about it and go and get them the supports and the resources that they need to. That's what it's about.
But that's not even necessarily a bad business tactic, because the more that happens, the more your name will get out as someone who genuinely cares and who wants
maybe
to
I
help.
care too much.
But it's kind of like, and you see it sometimes in other forms of business where they say, come to us, we're going to tell you all of the lowest prices, even if it's our competitors. But maybe it won't, and people will sometimes stay with that person just because they trust them a little bit more, even though they might be a few dollars more expensive. So it's not necessarily a bad business practice.
Well, yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, let's get on to the next song, which is Cool, What's Going On by Marvin Gaye. And it's...
I didn't know that one either, did I? I don't think I did.
They were saying it was a John Legend song by someone whose list I
but it
had
was really
looked
Marvin
at.
Gaye, yeah.
And I was like, I've heard John Lennon.
I think I remember there was
John
like one
Legend
little
sing.
snip in the middle that I was like, oh, that sounds a little vaguely familiar.
Yeah. What's Going On is I think it's probably his most well-known song. No, there's so many.
I mean, he has lots. I know his
many
name really
songs.
well. He's another one of those artists, like, clear. I know who he is, obviously, but couldn't name a single song.
What about Got to Give It Up?
No idea.
It's about standing in the corner. If you want to, like, you got to go out there. You got it. Actually, I'm going to put that in, because Got to Give It Up. Yeah, sure, it's about dancing, but it's also about being brave to take those first steps and to engage, which is another problem that you can find in mediation. Like when I've had some failed mediations, is you get a little bit of insight in how people either attempt to resolve conflict or attempt to perpetuate it, and don't even see that they're perpetuating it, because they're in such extreme aversion or such a depression. They're in an extreme state of apathy. So you hear them like, well, I guess we got to do this. Well, no one's holding a gun to your head. You do not have to do this. No, they want it, so I guess I'll do it.
That's not helpful.
No. So yeah, Got to Give It Up by Marvin Gaye.
What about, I thought of another musical one that might be similar. The Impossible Dream from Man of La Mancha. Do you know that song?
Actually, well, I've read Don Quixote, so yes, but
I don't know how close those two things are, but
I was assuming it was. It's not. There's no Don Quixote.
Oh no, Man of La Mancha is Don Quixote for sure. Yeah. No, I don't know, but Don Quixote is a huge work.
Oh yes.
So I don't know what parts they took and put into the musical, the 2-hour musical Man of La Mancha. That could be a whole series.
What's
Don
the
Quixote.
song about?
So the song is Miguel de Cervantes, Don Quixote, right? And he's, how do you explain it? It's him kind of explaining bravery, actually, is what it really is. And to go after what you want, and that should be a somewhat selfless thing. But he also talks about how bravery is overcoming fear. It's not the absence of fear. So that could help some people who maybe have like high anxiety about conflict to be able to hear something like that, to be able to go, look, I'm going to be brave. Like, this is going to be a very difficult experience for me, but if I can just get through it.
Baby steps.
Yeah.
Like in What About Bob? Baby steps. Baby steps. Do you remember that?
No.
With Bill Murray, and he's the patient of...
Oh, yes. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Now I do remember that now.
Baby steps to the car. Baby steps to the sidewalk. Baby steps to the... Yes. What's the name of the song?
The Impossible Dream.
Yeah, I wonder...
It's also kind of an anthem song. It can be very much that for people, gaining confidence. It's a beautiful song.
Okay. And this is Man of La Mancha.
From the Man of La Mancha.
Cool. In spite of all the damage by the Be Good Tanyas, it's very sad. But it's sort of like...
There's a band called the Civil Wars.
Yeah, I'm not going to put that one in. I actually really like the Civil Wars as well. I mean, they've broken up. But...
I don't think we went through the rest of this list at all. I don't recognize any of these.
Yeah, I should. I'm just going to get rid of a few of them because I disagree with some of these. But I
love Elton John.
Yeah, sorry seems to be the hardest word. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Such a
that
good
makes
one.
Sense. That makes a lot of sense in Mediation.
Oh,
too.
yes. Peace Train, Cat Stevens.
Don't know that.
Come on the Peace Train. Da, 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 da.
I'm so uncomfortable. I'm just kidding. No, I don't know that song.
I actually think it's more of again, maybe a little bit more like that Men of La Mancha. So it's like, let's get together. We're all going to get along. We're just going to ride this peace train through to the other side. And it's a little bit of like a peace anthem. It's a little bit meant to be. It's very 60s. Very protest, but flower child 60s.
What popped into my head with that was Let's Have a Kiki. Do you know that?
I love that song by the Scissor Sisters. So good. Lock the doors tight.
Yeah. That one. Yeah.
Actually, that's not too bad either. Let's have a Kiki. When you think about it, it's because
it's about let's coming together.
Well, remember, she's like, I'm coming home from the bar, and there's all these things, and and it was raining, and the cops
just having a bad day.
So we're gonna get together. We're gonna hang out. We're gonna dish it. We're gonna just kick our shoes off. We're gonna get together, and we're just gonna talk it out. We're just gonna that's very cathartic, and it's so important, and it's a version of mediation that I don't think we like. I think because there's now been this almost business aspect of it of hiring a neutral mediator where you don't actually need that. You can just have a bunch of friends get together and like, let's hush out all of our issues.
Vent a little bit.
Let's vent. Yeah. Let's whinge. Let's have our time. And now I feel better. And now the rain stopped and we've spilt our tea and we're good.
Yeah.
We've thrown shade, but not at each other and the rest of the world, and now we're fine. Yeah. Oh, I love that song. See, you know some popular music.
I had no idea who sang it.
I am so sad because the one time I was in Seattle, the Scissor Sisters were playing. I was like, and I said to my host, I was like, oh, can we please go see this? I wonder if there's like some tickets available. Can we just go see? And he was like, I don't like the Scissor Sisters. Ugh. Like, and I should have I don't mind going to things by myself. And she said, okay, well, I'm going. But I felt rude to ditch my host who was hosting me for a night.
Oh, and only one night.
Yeah. But I regret it now. I regret having missed the Scissor Sisters because I would have loved to have seen them in concert. They would have been, anyway. Scissor Sisters, can you please go on tour again? Anyway, So Sorry by Feist, Canadian artist.
Nope.
So sorry. It's really about apologizing.
I know even fewer Canadian. I know Katie Lang.
Who doesn't know Katie
Rufus
Lang?
Wainwright.
Who doesn't know Rufus Wainwright? You know Drake.
I can't name a song. Again.
What?
Yeah, I can't name a song. I can picture him. I know what he looks like.
Justin Bieber.
Oh, is he Canadian?
He is super Canadian.
Okay. Again, though, can't name a song. Like, I know him because he's like a cultural icon. And he looks like Mary Martin.
Sarah McLachlan.
She's Canadian?
She's super Canadian.
I didn't know she was Canadian.
She's originally from the East Coast, moved to the West Coast.
Okay. Yeah, no, again, can't name a song.
Jan Arden?
No idea who that is. Your little Canadian heart's just breaking.
Celine Dion.
I see Maple.
Do you know Celine?
Yeah, I know Celine Dion.
Yeah.
But the only song I can name is the Titanic theme song.
Doesn't matter.
And even then, it's the Titanic theme song. I forget what the actual song is.
What about Rush? Tom Sawyer?
No. Actually, I think I've heard of Rush. Maybe.
Tragically Hip?
You've told me about that.
Oh, yeah.
So I learned about
hipster.
them just this last year.
They were called hipsters before the term hipster.
Was a thing?
If you followed the hip, you were a hipster. And then that quickly got put out because suddenly hipsters became a totally different thing.
And I only learned about Rufus Wainwright from Moulin Rouge.
What about The Weeknd? No! I
was gonna do my Dowager Downton Abbey. What is a weekend?
Oh, my face is melting.
I've never heard of The Weeknd.
Blue Rodeo.
No.
The Sky Diggers.
No. You're making up some of these.
No.
Sky Diggers? What the hell is that
Canadians, do you feel my pain? Do you feel how much it hurts right now?
So it's not a
Joni
Canadian
Mitchell?
thing. Oh, Joni Mitchell, I know. Yeah.
And you know she's Canadian.
I didn't know she was Canadian. I didn't know where she was from.
Gordon Lightfoot?
I've heard of Gordon Lightfoot.
Anne Murray.
I don't know. The name
Songbird? Do 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 do.
No.
Do 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 do. Oh my God. No. Anne Murray, she's been around for flipping ever.
Wasn't that the
I'm gonna have to send you.
Is that the dance school thing?
No.
There's something Murray that was a dance school thing in the 40s, 50s.
No. You mean Arthur Murray?
Arthur Murray, that's it.
Not Anne Murray. No,
Yeah,
they're
Arthur
totally
Murray.
different.
Yeah, Arthur Murray. No, I've never heard of Anne Murray. I've heard of Ann Miller. Tap dancer, 1940s.
That's my extremely long sigh of exasperation. I'm dying that you don't know these people.
Yeah, sorry.
You're going to have to learn. You're going to have to learn.
Cigarettes and Chocolate Milk is a great song by Rufus Wainwright. That one I know.
What, Cigarettes?
And Chocolate Milk. Oh. I don't think it's great for mediation, but it's a good song.
It makes me think of Cigarettes and Coffee by Otis Redding, which I love. That, oh my gosh. When I was 15, 16, and I got one of my vinyl albums was of Otis Redding, and I used to listen to that. And that to me was real love. That song was about real love. I believed that in my heart.
Cigarettes and Coffee?
Yeah, it's about a couple who it's early in the morning, about quarter past 3, and I'm just sitting here with my baby over cigarettes and coffee, and I'm here to tell you that darling, I am so satisfied just sitting here talking with you over cigarettes and coffee.
That sounds familiar.
That's all that matters.
Lyric sounds
That we're
familiar.
just here together, just talking. That's all that matters.
Yeah. It also reminds me a little bit of Bette Midler's song "P.S. I Love You." Mm-hmm. Yeah. A fantastic song. Anyway, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Don't Think Twice. It's All Right is Peter Paul and Mary's song.
Don't
know. You know the Mamas and the Papas. How do you not know Peter Paul and Mary?
I've heard of Peter Paul and Mary, but every time I hear Peter Paul and Mary, I think of Catholicism.
And it just turns you off right away.
And I have or any religion, and I have no idea. I'm not like going down.
Or Peter Paul and Mary.
Yeah, I'm not like down on Catholics or anything. It just feels like something religious. I don't know what that is, and I don't know if I've ever heard the song. I mean, I know they're a band. Mm-hmm. But
there's a lot of people who've covered it too, and their version. Okay,
Don't Think Twice. Maybe I've heard that.
They're the originators of the song, but actually, why do I feel like that's actually a Bob Dylan song? Because I swear he sings it too. And I would be really annoyed with myself if I said it's a Peter, Paul, and Mary song and discover it's actually... Cause I'll be, yeah. No. Sorry, listeners. Peter, Paul, and Mary covered it. It's a Bob Dylan song. Because I love the Bob Dylan version.
I think I might know that song. I definitely know
Somewhere
Kamaka
Over the
Wiwa. I'm gonna mess up. Kamaka Wiwa.
Yeah, Israel.
Yeah.
Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
And What a Wonderful World. Fantastic.
And I really love how wistful it is and how hopeful it is.
Yeah.
And how calming it is.
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
Yeah. And then, there's a lot of Swifties out there who will maybe want to comment on Antihero by Taylor Swift. But there's a lot of people who, for some reason, absolutely hate her. My husband and my son constantly down on her. And I was just like, she doesn't care about your opinion. She's laughing all the way to the bank. She's a billionaire.
Yeah.
Like, she does not. What makes you guys think your opinion of her matters at all?
Yeah.
But I love
Clearly,
this.
a lot of people adore her.
Yeah.
So.
But I love this song. It's about realizing that, like, because she's kind of talked about the depression, the inside conflict, the inner turmoil that goes on that sometimes makes her the bad guy. It's me, hi, I'm the problem, it's me. It's like this awareness. Oh, crap on a cracker. I'm the problem. And I think that's such a good song for anybody to listen to be like, can we just have a mental check-in to see if we're being the bad actors?
Yeah.
I think that's something that needs to happen more in this world. It's just self-check, self-assess, what's going on.
Yeah. Am I actually wrong in this situation?
Am I the asshole?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Am I the asshole? Yeah.
That's Entertainment by The Jam. I know that's going to feel like a really weird one. But do you know about this song at all? It's a really good song. I love this song. And it's really kind of a one-hit wonder. It's been in a lot of movies. So once I play it for you after this, you'll be like, oh, I've heard this song before. It's sort of a punk rock anthem about the average working life struggle.
Okay.
And it's just, I'm getting up. I got to do all these things. Oh, hey, look, the police are here. I'm going through. Oh, hey, look, this couple's having this massive argument here. Oh, like the day-to-day, like conflict and struggle all around them. And it's just like, it's almost a tongue in the cheek. That's entertainment. That's just life. That's just how we go along. And it's an attitude that I really appreciate and like.
Water off a duck's back type of thing.
Exactly. Exactly. That's why I think this song belongs here, because there's so many people who want to sit and gripe and think that they're the hero in the story, main character energy that everyone obviously is paying attention to. No, everyone's living their own main character in their own life narrative. You're not that special.
Yeah. Yeah. None of us are. Yeah.
We're just background. We're just entertainment. So once we recognize that, maybe we can just take it down a notch and just getting a little bit of perspective again.
A little humility, a little perspective.
Yeah. Yeah. I throw this in because I used to listen to this a lot, and when I was a teenager, I was very sheltered, and I really had I knew. Not
as sheltered as me, apparently, but okay. Yeah.
I knew what drugs were. The Needle and the Damage Done by Neil Young. It's a very old song, but it's talking about the realization of how drugs can really impact people's lives and the kind of collateral damage that it does to not just the person using, but everybody around them. And the thing is there are some very serious mental health issues that people have used drugs and alcohol and whatnot to mask and cover up or to avoid conflict. And so not seeing that it's causing its own conflict and its own issues. And so I think that's such a good one when maybe someone who's kind of going through recovery or whatnot, understanding, well, there's a lot. Louder Milk. Do you know that series?
No, I haven't watched it yet.
Okay.
It's on my list, but I haven't watched it yet.
It's pretty good. One of the things I will say without giving too much.
Is that the one where they often show the clip of him in like the Starbucks and he opens the door? Or am I thinking of something else?
I don't know.
He opens the door for a girl and then she cuts in front of him in line
Yes.
for the coffee.
Yes.
And he's like, I opened a door for you, but come on. It's like, anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
No.
Make sure I was at the right show.
He is that kind of person who'll just say what he means, which is really quite funny. It's very refreshing. But at the same time, there's aspects of his own character arc and development that we realize that, he is still an addict. He has still the perspective of he may not be using anymore, but he is.
I've seen that in people before.
Yeah. And they don't realize that they're constantly causing conflict.
Yeah.
And maybe they've never touched drugs and never touched alcohol.
They're just one of those people.
But they're people who, for whatever reason, have like that addictive personality that has a very almost vampire energy, soul-sucking kind of. They're constantly living as if everything in their life is a problem. There's an element of control that's required in it.
Yeah. Well, they say that's where the succubus came from, like the idea of the succubus. There's people like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. But also the where we can get some certain types of narcissism at play, too.
Oh, sure.
Right?
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Ambition, Whale featuring Meek Mill and Rick Ross.
Featuring.
Yeah.
I was like, whale feet? Meek Mill.
When you see FT, it's not feet in music. It's featuring. Yeah.
Okay.
But I really like it because it's a song about, there's a lot going on around. There's a lot of conflict and stuff. And I need to focus on my goals. I need to find a way to lift myself up and myself out of this situation. So I think it's actually a really good, like almost a chess master's sitting down and getting ready and prepared. I need to think my way. For people who are a little bit more like analytical or they're a little bit more planning, they need to see several steps ahead. I think this is actually a really good song for them to go, okay, I'm about to deal with a bunch of conflict, but I need to rise up and be above it all and think about how I'm going to handle this situation and like bring my A game to it. And I really like it. I just think it's a really good song that way. The Corner is a little bit like That's Entertainment, but it's more of early aughts, and I just love Common, and I just snuck him in just because.
Never heard of the song or Common.
Tiffany Haddish is dating him now, if that helps. No?
Does not help. Do not know who Tiffany Haddish is.
She's a comedian. She's been in a ton of films. She's amazing. She made her career as a hype girl initially. Tiffany Haddish.
Oh, okay. Wait, no. I think I'm sorry. I think I remember who she is now.
I love her. She's the best. She's so awesome. Tiffany Haddish, if you ever listen to this,
I'm sorry. No, actually, no. I think now that I think I did see her. I can picture her last name written now, and now that I can picture that, can like picture her face now.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, I have watched her stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. She's dating a devastating,
but I would know him,
handsome, talented actor and artist in his own right. He's brilliant.
Tiffany Haddish is?
No, well, she is, of course, but Common, yeah. That's his artist name.
Oh, is he an actor too?
Yeah, he's been in a ton of stuff.
Okay. So does he go by the name Common? Or
yes and no.
Well, I know him as something else.
You might know him as something else. We'll go into this after.
I'll
show you.
All right.
I'll show you. I'll introduce
Queen
you.
Latifah, I know.
I know that. I put ladies first here. Because I know you know Queen Latifah and you know her 90s music.
No.
What?
I knew her in the 90s, but again, I've only known her through all of her movies because she's done a lot of great acting work.
Of course she's done, but you don't know her music?
I think the only thing I've heard her actually sing was Chicago.
Which she was amazing in.
Fantastic.
Yes.
But no, I don't. I love her as an actress. I do not know her music at all.
So sad. It's such a sad day for me. Okay, so Ladies First was, I don't even know if that was sort of her first hit or one of them, but it was her galvanizing female hip hop rap artists to respond to the outright misogyny and degradation of women that was going on in that artistic community. She's like, we need to step up our game, ladies. We also need to say, gentlemen, can you effing behave yourself,
honestly,
please?
That's why I hate, being a kid of the 90s and the aughts, I hated hip hop. Mostly, that was one of the main reasons.
But that wasn't the only thing that was out there.
Huh?
That the misogyny and stuff, that wasn't the only thing that was out there. You needed to listen to Queen Latifah. That's what it is. You needed to listen.
But I mean, but the vast majority of it was misogyny and not great stuff.
I think definitely the stuff that would
everything that I was hearing
that you'd hear in high schools.
I had zero interest in. The only one, it's like Will Smith was funny and not trash. And I'm sure Queen Latifah was as well, but I literally don't think I've ever heard it. Ever.
Okay, I'm going to share Ladies First and Nature of a Sister with you. Oh, yeah. So good.
I'm sure I will like it. I'm sure I will. Because it wasn't the music that I disliked. It was a lot of the messages that I was hearing. Actually,
this isn't hip hop really. It's called Strength, Courage, and Wisdom, and it is by India Ari. And I can't believe I didn't think about this since we've been having this type of conversation. I listened to this a lot during my divorce once upon a time. And I love this song. It's so brilliant and highly, highly, highly recommend. And it's just about that sense of pooling your inner resources, learning about yourself, cultivating yourself, growing, and then being able to move forward through things. So it's such a good, again, pre-mediation session type song, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. And we're done the list. Listeners, I'm sure you have a lot of other songs. Please post in our Facebook group. We are also on Discord, so we'll start a channel there. We'll start sharing there. We'll post this when we post this episode. I mean, it'll hopefully get through to YouTube. We've had a few technical issues. Some of you have shouted out to me already and said, why aren't you on Apple Podcasts? We're working on it. But, I'm not an Apple user, and that's one of the biggest reasons. And so we're getting there. We will find a way. And, let us know if this episode worked for you. If you want us to do a part 2 down the road. But like, rate, subscribe. Thank you for listening this week.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to Tough Call, a mediation podcast hosted by C.T. Eller and Dale Sheldon. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. This podcast was edited by Jean Sarrazin, with social media and marketing by Jazz Virbadi and Hope Ursek. Original music by Ty Ray Lawton. This podcast was sponsored by Herb Legal LLP, where you can find more episodes at www.herblawservices.com. Thank you for listening.